Hey guys, it's Dave. I've been building wood projects for a few years now, and I've had several people tell me I should film it and post it online, so I decided, hey, let's give it a try. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to build a raised garden box. My wife's been asking me for a few weeks now to see if I could build her one, and I decided to do it, and hopefully I can get it done prior to Valentine's Day, which would be a double plus. The area I'm going to put it in is not too big, but it's going to be able to maximize the space so that she can plant as much as she wants. It's roughly going to be about 8 feet wide, 7 feet long on one side, and 6 feet long on the other. Kind of a J shape where you can walk down the middle. And I really wanted to put a top on it, a good sitting top, so that you could sit while you plant and harvest and wouldn't have to bend over or lean over or stand over it. You could actually relax and garden. The material I'm going to use is mostly wood, but I did build a bar and grill in my backyard, and I use a lot of corrugated metal with the wood, and I like that look, and so I'm going to incorporate that into this garden box, and hopefully it'll turn out nice. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. I know I'm going to leave out a few things. As Bob Ross says, there's no mistakes, just happy little accidents. So we'll make it work, and if I leave anything out and you have any questions, just leave a comment and I'll try to answer as best I can. So hope you enjoy the video, and let's build this. Now it's time to go to the big box store to get some 2x4s, 2x6s, some corrugated metal, black plastic, and a lot of screws. Now it's time to prep the ground. It was tough with all the roots from a tree we ripped out previously, but we made it work. Okay, I got the base in. Now we're going to work on putting the uprisers on it so I can put that top on. Couple things when you do this, you got to make sure you get the right angle cuts. I did all of them right until I got to this center part here, and what I forgot to do is this one coming here, that 90 degrees that way, I had to do an opposite 90. So I forgot to do that when I did it. It didn't affect it too much, but I did have to use a different piece of wood to recut it, and but I was able to get it on. I may have lost, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches total, so not a big deal when you're dealing with this size of a thing, but just something to keep in mind. And I was going hot and heavy and getting those things done, and I didn't realize I had 2 sets of boards that I had to do opposite angle cuts. So other than that, it's working out pretty good, and we'll keep on going. Okay, correction number 2. This corner that I was doing that I had to reverse the angle cut off of the miter saw. Well, I didn't realize it as well. These would be like my normal ones where all the pocket holes are on the inside. Well, you have to reverse this for this corner because you don't want to have those pocket holes showing, so you end up having the reverse side showing this way. So I had to take them off, re-screw them in. There's a couple holes in the inside, but it won't matter because it's going to be covered in dirt. All right. Okay, well, I got the frame all complete. Now it's time to do a little bit of staining. I like the golden oak stain. It's one of the ones I've used on my bar and a couple other projects here at the house, and also ones I've done for other people. But it looks like it's pretty come together pretty well. The ground here was a little tough because we had a tree planted here. We ripped that out. And then we had a Seiko palm planted here, and we didn't like that as well, so that got ripped out. So this ground has some pretty big holes and some different things, a lot of roots in here. So just trying to level it out as best I can. It's pretty level right now. Put some rock in there underneath, and I'm going to fill the bottom part with rock as well, just to give it a little bit of a drainage. But it's pretty sturdy and it's ready for a little coat before I put on the corrugated metal. I want to get that done first before I put the metal on, just so I don't drip any stain on that metal. And once that's done, I'll put that in. It should go up pretty fast, and then put the top cap on it with a 2x6, just something where you can sit down and do some gardening as well. And then it's filling it up. So the way I found to cut this corrugated metal is I got one piece already set up. It's 20 inches. It's going to fit the flower bed right. So I just take one piece and I'm just marking the humps on each one of these. So I don't really need to use a straight edge because a lot of it's going to get covered up. And then the key on cutting it is using a skill saw. It's the one thing, it's the fastest thing I've found to do it. It does a great job with it. You just have to make sure you reverse the blade. So you take it off and you put the blade going the other direction when you cut it. I've done 10 snips, I've done other things. Those are a pain in the butt. This is the fastest, quickest way of doing it. So I'm going to show you guys a couple cuts and then we'll move on from there. Make sure you have eyewear and ears because this gets loud. I use a Sharpie because it's easier to see. And it doesn't really matter if it's at the bottom because it's all going to be buried anyways. So as long as you're fairly close, it's pretty simple. So make sure when you're doing this, you wear gloves, of course, but also too, I have a big magnet that picks up because all these little shavings will go all over the place, and you probably don't want to keep them wherever you're doing it, just because you don't want to cut yourself if you step on it or if someone picks something up. So I always come back after I'm done and I'll use my magnet to pick all these up, and then we're good to go. Well, we're winding down with getting this put together, putting in the last piece of the corrugated metal. I'm just using these self-piercing screws. One thing I do like to do is when I do put these in and when I overlap it, I try to get the seam on the back side. So if people are looking from this direction, that seam's on the back side, it kind of disappears. You won't even see it. So you just line it up. You don't have to be perfect on it. You just have to keep it below the top so that when I put these in there, I'll just hold it in. Put these self-piercing screws in there, just hold it in there. The weight of the dirt and everything else you put in there is going to push out, so you don't have to put a ton in there, but just as long as you get it connected so there's no bowing, it just looks a lot better. And just trying to match it up and finish the thing off. Try to get at least 2 screws on the overlap, then that just keeps that tight and that hides that seam. You can't even, actually I don't even know where the seam is, I don't even see it. So once I get these on there, it hides it and it looks great. And so, but it looks good. All I gotta do left now is just put the 2x6 top on it, and that's pretty much it, and then fill it up with dirt. Okay, one thing I added on this before I was gonna put the top rail on is these little, I made these little corner pieces, 2x4s. Kind of ideally would have put them on the inside, but I'd already pre-cut all my sheet metal, so I didn't want to go back and have to notch it out, just a little too much work. So I just made them on the outside. I'm going to sand them down, stain them, do them just like the outside, but it actually will look pretty nice. And I also have some other ones to do for the longer runs, just to give it a little more support, because that 2x6 is going to go on there, and I just don't think that one edge of the 2x4 will be good enough. And if you set on it, it might churn on you, but I think they look pretty good. Kind of goes with it, I think. And I kind of notched out. I wanted to make it a little bit nicer, so I did a little 45, a little angle cut on them, so they kind of look a little bit nicer than just straight 2x4 with the square cut. So I put them on all the edges on the outside, and then like I said, on this middle one, you just got to make sure all the cuts are reversed. So this sits on the outside like the other, but it's the opposite direction. And then I cut the little the 45-degree notch on it, so it looks pretty good. So coming along pretty good. I think I'm gonna probably call it a night, and tomorrow I'll finish this up. It's getting a little dark, and also we had a lot of rain, so it kind of slowed me down during the last 2 days. So I wasn't able to keep working on it. So, but I'll have it done tomorrow, have it all stained and finished, and then the big chore of putting all this pile of dirt, compost, everything else I can throw in there before I start putting some soil. But I will do is I am going to put some gravel on the bottom just for drainage. I'm not going to do a metal grate at the bottom. Some people do because of keeping the gophers or any other animals coming from underneath. But we've lived here over 2 years. We haven't had one gopher in either the front or backyard, so I'm not too worried about that. So I'll throw some gravel in there. And if they do decide to come, I'll make it a little bit tough for them to get in. So one last thing I did to this before I put the top rail on is I added this plastic liner. It's a 6 mil plastic liner that I just stapled down on the outside edge, just to give it a little barrier between the galvanized steel and the soil that we're going to use. It'll help with a little moisture and maybe keep this galvanized from eventually changing colors. So it should keep it looking nice and new, and it just keeps the soil away from the galvanized. I don't know if it does anything to the plants, but I'd rather just have it in there just for safety. But real easy, just cut a few sheets of it, put it around, and then now I'm going to put the top on. Well, got the raised pounder box done. I believe it came out really nice. It really ties into our backyard and all the other projects I've done back here. Was real happy at how it came together. I am glad I could share it with you guys. And if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Love to read those. And also, if you really like to see some more, subscribe and ring that bell so you get notifications whenever I put up another project. I'm really thankful that you guys could watch the video, and look forward to doing another one for you. Thanks a lot.